Hi, this is Jo, and I'm doing this training to help you create a morning routine so you can optimize your success. And the reason I'm doing this is because I have so many clients that come to me and say that they're not productive in the morning and they just can't get going. So by having a morning routine, you can totally change your life dramatically. And the reason for this is when we put together a morning routine, it becomes a habit and it tells our brain it is time to be productive. It can also reduce stress levels. And I have so many people that talk to me that say when they get up in the morning, they feel like they're so rushed. They've just got so little time to get ready, to have breakfast, get out the door. They might have to get up for the school run, deal with all the children, or it might just be that you just don't have enough time to just sit down and just reflect on what you're going to do for the rest of the day. With a morning routine, you'll have time to just sit down and relax, and the more you do that, the more effective it will be. It also sets your body clock. So if you are getting up at the same time every day, you'll set an alarm and it will wake up just before that alarm. You'll start waking up at the same time every single day. And this is how our body likes to work. It likes to know that this is the time we're going to get up, we're going to do the morning routine, and then we're going to be productive for the rest of the day. The way you start your day will affect everything you do. Can you think of the times where you have been rushed and then something goes wrong? You're late, or you're nearly late, or you're rushing, you forget something, and it just seems to be snowballed throughout the day after that. By putting this morning routine in, it gives you time to have space. It gives you time to think, and it will affect how you approach the rest of the day. What we're doing is programming your mind to wake up at that same time. And by doing this, we also need to do a little bit of preparation the night before. So set your alarm for the same time every day. I'm not talking Monday to Friday, Monday to Sunday. This is a lifestyle change, and this is something that you're going to embrace every single day. If you use an alarm, then put that alarm on the other side of the room. How many of you, hands up, have gone, the alarm's gone off, it's at the side of your bed, and you go, oh, I'm just going to snooze for another 5 minutes. You snooze, you lose. We all know that saying, and by putting the snooze button, you're telling your mind that this isn't important. It's not important to get up when the alarm gets up. So you're programming your mind to snooze and stay in bed. The night before, create a 5-minute visualization of how you're going to get up the next morning. Visualize the alarm going off, getting up, turning the alarm off, going to the toilet, going downstairs, doing the morning routine. And it is really ideal that you set a time to go to bed. Have a bedtime routine. Most of us have one, but do we do it at the same time? Go to bed at the same time if it's possible. I know sometimes it isn't, but where you can, you try and get that routine so that you've got a bedtime routine and you're telling your brain to sleep. It will help you so much to get that quality sleep that you need. Make sure that you're getting enough sleep, because what I don't want you to do is wake up at a certain time every morning very tired because you haven't had enough sleep. We all need sleep, and it's so important that you get the quality sleep that you need. So the first thing that I do is I like to do a visualization. And some people like to do this in bed. I don't do that because I know that I'm going to possibly not visualize and go back to sleep. I need to get up in the morning. I use a technique that Mel Robbins does, which is the 5-second rule. which you go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, get up. Start thinking, then that's when you start staying in bed. So if you are that kind of person, get up and do the visualization when you're downstairs and awake. Get yourself coffee, some water, cup of tea. If that's what you want, then get yourself sorted. Go to the area you want to do your morning routine and start the day with a visualization. Now I want you to just look and imagine how you want your life to look like in a year's time. But I want you to imagine that you're living that life now. What we know as psychologists is that our brain doesn't know the difference between what is real and what is imagined. So by imagining what our life would look like now, will then trigger your brain to say, I love this life that you're imagining. This is real, and it will make it a reality. Make it bright, make it bold, make it colourful. Use all your senses to bring it to life. So see what you see, hear what you hear. I love listening to the birds in my visualization as I'm sat in my garden with the sun shining down. I can feel the heat of the morning sun on my skin with my cup of coffee, looking over on a gorgeous view. And this is where I want to live my life. Some people love the smell. So if you like smelling the flowers and the roses, then bring that in. Or it could be the smell of baking or bread. Use your imagination to its full. That's what it's there for. Visualize that life that you want. Once you've done that visualization, you've got yourself into this state that you can start to complete some mindfulness. Now, a lot of people are a little bit confused about what mindfulness is. And for those who don't know, mindfulness isn't about thinking of nothing. It's about focusing on a particular object or your breath and allowing the thoughts to come into your mind, but just letting them go and bringing your focus back to the breath. It's a great exercise if you find that it's hard to concentrate and to keep focus for a long period of time. Start with 5 minutes a day to start off with. And then when you feel that you can do this to the best of your ability, build it up minute by minute. And some people can do this for 40 minutes. You don't have to do that. You just need to get into that state of mind just for 5-10 minutes a day. And first of all, it's just all about learning to focus on your breath, listening to the rise and fall of your stomach, how it feels, how heavy it is, how light it is, how fast it is. And to get you started, use apps like Calm. Calm provides a free 7-day program. When I started with mindfulness, that's what I used. Although I've been a hypnotherapist for 15 years, I still felt that Calm was a brilliant app to get me into that routine of mindfulness. And when you get into that habit of being able to focus on your breath and your confidence with that process, then start adding a specific question at the start. So it could be, what is it that's holding me back from achieving this goal? Or what do I need to do to help me achieve this? Ask a specific question and just see what comes up. Acknowledge it, then let it go, and then practice bringing your attention back to the breath. And this leads on really nicely to the next part of my morning routine, which is the journaling. And I do get some people say, oh, I don't like writing, I don't know if I can do this. This is all mindset. Journaling is so powerful, but you don't have to write it. If you want to speak your thoughts into that. Just spend 10 minutes after you've done your mindfulness, writing down the things that came up for you. Just write. Don't think, just write. You might find things that come up that you wasn't expecting. You may get some enlightenment of that. Just see what comes up. It's amazing how many ideas of how you're going to achieve your goals come up in that time. One thing that I really like to do, which doesn't take too long, is gratitude. We know that if we are grateful for the things we have, we'll get more of those. So think about things that you're grateful for. I use 3 grateful things every single day, and they don't have to be huge. They don't have to be about having a roof over your head or having food on the plate. This is little things. So one of the things that I use as an example is I'm grateful when it's not raining, so I can take the dog for a walk, and that means we don't get wet. And my dog's a little miniature schnauzer, don't like getting wet. So I'm really grateful that when it's dry and we don't have to go out in the rain. It's as simple as that. I also like to write some affirmations out. These are statements of intent. So this could be, this is my time. I am ready to achieve this in my life. Be specific. Have 3 or 4 or 5 affirmations, no more than that, that you can write in your journal every day. Live it, breathe it. Have them around on post-it notes around your house. Have it on your screensaver. Have these affirmations to tell you what it is that you want. Use I am statements. Again, our brain wants to think that it's now. We don't want to be looking at the future. It's now, even if you don't believe that at this moment. So I am ready. I am the great person to be able to do this. Also, one thing that I like to do is think about what are you going to do to make today great. This is putting your intentions in, so you can be really focused and think, what am I going to do today that's going to make today great? Then you know that you can go out and do that. One thing I do with journaling is I like to do reflections in my journal before bed at night time. So this is something that you could do just to reflect on the day, what's been great, what good things have happened, and just one thing that you can improve to make you better the next day. I don't want you to start focusing on the things that didn't happen or were not very good, that made you feel sad, things like that. So focus on the good things, the things that made the day great. This is the most important thing for me, is the self-development. And I believe that morning is the best time to do this. You know why? Because if we don't do it in the morning, it never gets done. Things always get in the way. So there's a number of things you can do. You can read a book. I think the recommendation is that if you read at least 10 pages a day, then the amount of knowledge that you'll have by the end of the year will change the way you see things. These are about self-development books. These are things to improve you. I like to listen to an audio book. I like to also listen to podcasts. They give me great inspiration and knowledge and insightfulness of things that give me ideas of how I'm going to change my life. YouTube is good. I'm going to put a caveat on YouTube. There are so many good things on YouTube that will help you with your self-development. But what happens is you watch one video, it then leads to another, and you lead to another. That starts to become procrastination. So if you're going to use YouTube, just be very mindful of the purpose of that. And there's workbooks. So if you're doing some self-development and there's a workbook involved, or you've got a book that has some exercises in, do the exercises. So many people buy a self-development book and they don't do the exercises, and then they go, well, it didn't work for me. But it didn't work for you because you didn't give it your all. You didn't commit. We can all read, we can all learn all these skills, but if we don't take the action, it will not happen. I'm going to put exercise in here as well. Now, for me, this doesn't always happen in the morning, and I'll tell you for why. It's because I'm a single mom of 2 children. I can't always get that in. But if you can do exercise in the morning, it will kickstart your metabolism. It will clear your mind. It will just give you that clarity and that feeling of well-being that you've done that exercise. Again, sometimes if you do the exercise in the morning, you don't have to think about it at the end of the day. And it doesn't have to be long either. It could be that you go out for a run, or you just do an exercise video, DVD video. That sounds like my age group. We don't do videos anymore. DVD, or go on YouTube and look at some excellent things on there that you can do. But again, just make sure you plan what you're going to watch and do the exercise and then walk away. Walking is great. I like to go out and have a walk, and I will combine that with my self-development. So I will listen to an audio book and a podcast in the morning when I'm walking the dog. So I've got a dog. If you have a dog, it's a great way to get out. A lot of these things have come from The Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod, and I just adapted them a little bit to suit me. And he has what's called savers. So savers is silence, affirmations, visualization, exercise, reading, and scribing, which is your journaling. And he says you can do this in 6 minutes. So don't tell me you haven't got time in the morning to do this, because if you get the opportunity to read his book, he will tell you you can do all those things in 6 minutes, a minute for each. So there's no excuses. You can get that done. I like to spend half an hour, 45 minutes. And I don't do it in this order. So play about with the order. See what works for you. Fit it around your family commitments, but don't drag it out all day. It's okay to probably have like the exercise later on in the day. And for me, I tend to do the podcasting and the audio book in the morning, and then I use the reading to wind down in the evening. So they're all ways to adapt this, but don't try and do it throughout the day because you won't do it. This is about having that morning routine so that you have a habit that you do every single day. And if you're just doing one bit when you can get around to it, you're not creating that habit.